The Science of Love. Hi, I'm Anne-Margaret with this week's Sacred Sunday message to raise the vibration of your body, mind, and spirit. So happy Valentine's Day if you are watching this today. And if you're watching this in replay, just another day of love that you've got for you. So this is going to be very applicable. Today we're talking about heart health, and also not just our physical health of our heart, but also the emotional, mental, energetic health of the heart. Today is special because 25 years ago was the first time I received. We celebrated Valentine's Day together. My dear love, Anthony, and first time I got flowers from him, and when we reunited in 2005, this is what I received from him as a gift for a necklace for Valentine's Day. So it was very special. But today I thought we'd go into a little bit understanding of why our heart is important. Not just the heart chakra, and that we'll talk about that too, but the actual physical health of the heart. As very soberly we all know that heart disease is the #1 killer in our country. And it's not just about what we eat or not exercise, okay? There is a lot more to it, which is why a lot of us go that what's initially called a very woo-woo path of like the heart center and frequency and energy. But as we know now through echocardiogram measuring the actual frequency of the heart and also our ability to now measure energy, we know that this is not woo-woo. We know this is very practical, and those who are healthiest and most radiant understand this very well. So thanks for joining me today. We're going to dive in and explore a lot, but I hope this is 15 minutes that you can spend for yourself in a very loving way, in a loving investment for yourself today on Valentine's Day. So let's look at the #1 killer, heart disease. So if we have a proper diet, and we eat well, that is only part of it. But what else are we ingesting? What else are we ingesting? So if we have a proper diet of compassion, of love, of forgiveness, of regular practice of gratitude, that is a diet for our energetic heart, which directly impacts our physical heart. And I'll tell you why in a second. So if we abstain from foods that are bad for us, that's really wonderful. Letting go of a lot of alcohol intake or drug intake, that is going to help the heart also, as we know. But what about the energetic heart? We need to abstain from those very intense emotions of hate, of fear, of anxiety, stress, and all of that it wreaks havoc on our heart health, our actual heart health, and the physical heart. And if we don't learn how to do this, we're going to perpetuate this very devastating pandemic that we have that is not going anywhere, that kills so many more people than any virus or anything else does. It's the relationship that we have to our heart, not just the physical one, but the energetic one as well. So let's dive in. So some heart facts, which I thought were very fascinating, and I've included a lot in the notes for today's session, as well as some essential oils also that put you in alignment with more compassion or gratitude or even the divine connection to love. So be sure to check out those notes. But what's fascinating is that the heartbeat starts way before the brain forms, like in a baby, in a fetus. That's the first sign. That's, you hear the heartbeat. The heartbeat, right? Not the brain. The body is not fully functioned yet. It's the heartbeat. And even when the brain is absolutely dead, right? We go brain dead, there's something that happens, our brain is no longer functioning. The heart will continue to beat so long as it has oxygen, right? And that flow, and it's moving throughout the body, and it'll keep the body alive. What's also fascinating that I did in my research and I have in the notes is that the heart has an intelligence. It's sometimes referred to as the mini brain, although we do have another brain in the gut, that second brain of our gut intuition and also the health of our actual physical gut. But did you know that the heart also, it has its own processing center. It has its own ability to feel its own emotions, and it has 40,000 neurons. That's incredible. And from those 40,000 neurons, it really has the ability to process, to learn, and to remember. So we have not only our memory in our brain, but we also have the memory of the heart. and also all throughout our body as well, but mostly the heart. So if we look at an adult heart, even though it is only the size of like a fist, like this is how big an adult heart is on average, and it weighs less than about 10 ounces. The actual energy or the electromagnetic frequency or field of the heart is 60 times that of the brain, which is mind blowing, because 60 times, 60 times as radiant as the brain. And it is the strongest, most radiant organ we have in our body, and most impactful organ. So this is measured. This is not just woo-woo, right? When you take an echocardiogram reading, the heart has a 60 times electromagnetic field than that of the brain. And when also you can measure this is that the heart radiance measures actually 3 feet from the body, from 3 feet from the physical body. So those of us in woo-woo spiritual land, we talk about an auric field, an aura field, right? An aura around the body, an energetic field. It's not just woo-woo energy, it's actually an electromagnetic measuring of the force field of the heart. It's incredible. It's incredible. So 3 feet outside the body. And there's even an entire field of study called neurocardiology that studies all of this. So there's so many more developments that are growing each and every day, and our understanding of the power of the heart. So let's now look at what affects the heart. Like, what affects the heart? We know that diet, we know that exercise affects the heart. We know that terrible foods clog our arteries and make our heart actually work harder. And just because of diet alone, right? And if we're not exercising our heart, if we're not increasing the heart rate on a regular basis and doing quite literal physical exercise that raises that heart frequency, raises the heartbeat up and down in interval settings, we can have if we don't do that, we don't strengthen, we're not exercising the heart, the actual physical heart. But also, what about our emotions? So we have a normal diet. Our normal emotions that have become all too normal are feeling chronic stress, rage, hatred, anger, and just being upset all the time. This impacts the heart. The heart actually has the job of communicating all of these emotions to the brain, and then the brain triggers its body responses of releasing the stress hormones and constricting the blood vessels, and even like increasing blood pressure because of this constriction. And what all this leads to is chronic inflammation. So our emotions are impacting all of this. We think, oh, I gotta have a proper diet and I've gotta exercise. No, that is just the physical body, but we are impacted on so much more than just that. So the impact of all of this, it makes the heart work harder. So what about the rhythm of the heart? What about the rhythm? We can actually measure the rhythm, and if it's an erratic rhythm in the heartbeat, this is not great. This shows that the heart is not in a harmonious state. It is not efficiency. It's not having a very proper efficiency to work at its best or optimal level. So our parasympathetic and our sympathetic nervous system responds to anger, responses to anxiety, to stress, and this impacts the actual rhythm of the heart. So it'll go into an erratic heartbeat, it'll speed up. I know you felt that when you felt a lot of anxiety, it'll speed up. And this impacts the radiance as well. Your radiance, the ability to how you're impacting others. If you think about that heart center magnifying 3 feet beyond the body, then if you're feeling an erratic heartbeat or stress or anxiety, you're impacting those who are in your field, who are around you in your life. That's why when you are around somebody who's really stressed out, you start to take up their energy, not because you're just sensitive, but because it's actually scientifically measured. It's proven. It is in the force field around our bodies. And if we're feeling love, if we're feeling compassion, we're feeling gratitude, this isn't woo-woo at all. This is a direct ingesting of empowering energies that really, truly help to keep our heart healthy. So, what's the impact on you? You have a more harmonious physical heart, more harmonious energetic heart center. That impacts you, of course, your overall physical health, your mental health, your emotional health, and the spiritual health, what you are sending out to others, and your overall sense of peace in the world. So, what can we do in this? Because, and we look at the physical heart and the radiance of the heart, the physical heart being impacted by our stress, our emotions, our thoughts, our belief systems. How do we keep ourselves healthy? We want a steady, harmonious heart versus a chaotic and erratic, rhythmic heart. And when we do that, also we've got oxytocin that's released in the brain. This is why people turn to drugs or to food or these pleasure, these unhealthy, addictive behaviors, is because we don't know how to cultivate that naturally within ourselves to release those hormones that are the love hormones that really put ourselves in a harmonious state. So how do we get the heart there? Yes, diet. Yes, we want to make sure what we're ingesting, from our entertainment to our emotions, our thoughts, our belief system, our food, our drink, all of that, our stress level. But also, what about the thoughts? How do we just change our thoughts? It's important. If you're not working with a coach, I work with people one-on-one. I do relationship coaching for couples, spiritual counseling, to understand all the ways that we do not serve our overall heart health. And if we look at the chakras, which is one of my favorite frameworks, obviously, I'm obsessed with the chakras, to look at our overall health, we can see that love and harmony exists in all of the chakras, or it doesn't. So if we look at the root chakra, this is our relationship to our body, diet and exercise, how we love our physical body. If we look at the sacral center, that sacral chakra, we can look at our inner child, the love that we have for our inner child, our relationship to that inner child. And that has to do with our playfulness, our creativity, our sexuality. And if any of those are disharmonious, that's going to impact our heart. We look at the solar plexus, and that solar egoic center, and that's the relationship that we have to our identity, our personality. And if we don't look at that, we are missing out on our relationship, healthy or an unhealthy relationship, to our work, to our identity, how we identify with the world, how we see the world, how we manifest in the world, how effective we are at manifesting that which we want to see in the world. And then our heart chakra is our relationship to how we love, like how we love ourselves, how we love others. Can we cultivate compassion, empathy? Can we feel gratitude in our hearts for our lives? Or are we moving towards that place of over-giving because we want to identify, or we're over-identifying with our worth being in direct relationship to how much we're giving to others? The throat chakra, right, is a connection to our purpose, to our ability to create and co-create, and really connecting with purpose, with self-expression, with how we're listening to life, how we're filtering life. And we go up to the brow chakra, and that's our center of intuition, how we're trusting ourselves, how we're trusting our own wisdom, and how we're utilizing a very underused power to create, which is our imagination. We leave that behind when we're kids, and we don't realize that that is a part of how we manifest in this world. And it creates immense insight if we connect and find harmony in that brow chakra. And then the crown chakra, this is our all energetic systems that impact all that we do, all the patterning that we have. And the crown chakra is our the way that we love God, the way that we love guidance, the way that we love oneness and that universal wisdom or spirit or whatever name you give that energy. And this is cultivated through prayer, through our relationship with meditation or openness to guidance, and allowing that wisdom or allowing that guidance to help our lives and to influence our lives. So if you do not know about all of those centers and know about how your belief system is impacting your ability to truly love and to be in harmony with your physical heart disease is the number one killer for a reason. We don't know how we are cutting ourselves off from allowing this channel of love to move through us. And we do that through our relationship to our physical body, our emotional body, our mental body, our spiritual body, our relationships with one another. our relationship to our emotions, especially the ones that cause a lot of anxiety, and take quite a literal, impactful toll on our physical heart. So tonight I'm getting together with my Galentines online. If you want to join us, we're having a Galentine's special women's circle online tonight, and the links are in the notes for this talk. But also, I'd encourage you that you're not meant to do this alone. You're not meant to do this alone. So if you don't have a great coach, or you don't have a good spiritual counselor or somebody else, reach out to me. If you need some support in your own relationship and you're celebrating Valentine's, but you're like, yeah, but we don't really feel like something's been off for a while and we want to rekindle that. Now is the time to do that. Now is the time to kind of dive into that more so for yourself and for your partner, so that that ripples into the rest of your life and that ripples into your actual physical heart. Because if you're upset, or your partner's upset, or your kids are upset, or your business partner is upset, and you have that very measurable, by an echocardiogram, electromagnetic field around the heart center that's 3 feet beyond your physical body, you're being impacted by it. Your partner's being impacted by it. Everybody you come into contact with, strangers or your acquaintances at the stores, are being impacted by that. So when Gandhi said, be the change in the world, that's what he literally meant. Be the change in the world. Shift your particular patterning. Shift how you're eating. Shift how you're exercising. And shift how you're relating to your emotional and energetic and mental bodies. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in today. And remember that love starts from within. All right, it doesn't come. You're not seeking for love. You're seeking to remove all the barriers that you have within yourself to it. Thank you to Rumi for that quote. Okay? All right, love you all. Take very good care of yourselves. And until next time, keep raising the vibration. All right, bye everybody.